Everyone, welcome back to the Zoric Shops. And from today onwards, we are starting with the new series. Like I'm gonna create a new crash course about the HTTPD. I searched lots of document and all the things about it. Like I searched multiple videos on HTTPD web server, and when I see that videos, that I come to know about that they are just basic videos and they are just talking about the installation part and virtual hosting and all the kind of things. But instead of that, we have lots of more things we can do in the httpd web server. Okay, and I am gonna create a series. In that series I'm gonna teach you the entire httpd web server, which are very useful in the real industry use cases. So let's start with the first part. This is the first part of the video, and I'm gonna clear some basic of the web server and some basic of the http web server, how to install, how to set up, and some no index kind of things. But let me start with the http. So if anybody know, httpd is a web server. So let me just click. So httpd is a web server provided by the Apache company. Okay, HTTP is a web server provided by the Apache company. It's created, I think, in the 1995. Okay, it's a first web server which cross 100 millions kind of visit on the websites. Okay, so if you search like quick history about the HTTP web server, so let me just open the Chrome, and if you search the Apache HTTP web server, you can see you'll find the it's a product from the Apache, and Apache is the one organization. You can see in under the Apache there are lots of product available, but one of the product is Apache HTTPd. If you see the documentation here, so here you can see the find the more information about the HTTPd, and it's created in launch in the 1995, and here you can see internet since 1996. Okay, there are lots of web server available. Like we have Nginx, I think we have Nginx, we have Nginx, then you have ISI for Windows. Okay, but one of the most famous web server we can see is HTTPd. Okay, almost 30% website in the world are hosted on the HTTPd. If you search on the Wikipedia about the HTTPd, and if you search the Wikipedia, here you'll find some information, more information about it. So here you can see it's a for 30%. You can see almost 30% website at their backend they are using the HTTPd web server. Okay, and here you can find more information, like somewhere they talk about the 100 millions, I think. So let me just quickly search for you. I am not able to find, but somewhere they written that they are this is the first web server they are able to cross the 100 million website visit. Okay, in the world. Now in today's world there are lots of web server available, but one of the famous and most useful web server that company are using in the backend is HTTPd. Okay, and to set up HTTPd, like HTTPd is one kind of product. Okay, if you know, HTTPd is kind of one kind of product or one kind of tool, you can say. And to install any kind of product or any kind of programs or application, so we need a operating system. Okay, and for operating system, to get the operating system, there are multiple ways available. Like you can install on the bare metal, you can install on the your own, you can take your own RAM, you can take your own CPU, and you can install on the on premises, or else you can use virtualization to install the operating system. And there is one more uh, technology available to install the operating system is containerization. So you can use to containers to install the operating system, but I'm gonna use the cloud. In the cloud, I'm gonna use AWS cloud to get the operating system. In AWS cloud we have EC2 is the one service which provide us the operating system, so I'm gonna use the EC2. So let me just log into the AWS cloud and create the EC2 there. So here you can see I already log into my AWS account, and if you visit first time, so you have to search for EC2 here, virtual server in the cloud, and let me open it in new tab. And here you can see you'll see this kind of page here, but then here you have to click on launch instance. Okay, launch instance, and in the name I'm gonna give Apache underscore HTTPd underscore training. And in my case, there are lots of operating system available, but here you can see, like we have Ubuntu, we have like, and then we have Red Hat, but I'm gonna use the Red Hat here. Okay, there are lots of reason there, and there is not a specific reason, but I'm gonna go with the Red Hat. Okay, the concept and the commands will be exactly same for any other operating system, and the configuration file are exactly same, but there are just some different between the folder and all the things come up, so you can easily understand them. Okay, so let me choose the Red Hat operating system here. And in Red Hat, I don't want to change the RAM. I want to go for default 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. And here I'm gonna create the key pair. Let me create Apache underscore HTTPd underscore training. It's my key pair name. It's just like a password. And in networking setting, guys, I'm gonna teach you about the port mapping and means multiple ports. So we need to allow all the traffic so we don't face any difficulties. And no anything else, I just want to go for default setting. Let me click on launch system. Till the time it's launching, let me explain you some concept that you should know before understanding the about the web server. So if you search like when you open any kind of browser, so if you search for google.com, okay, it's website, it's a page, it's running in one of the server, like when what we did, we are just a client here. Okay, we are, you can think like this is the client, we are just a client here, and somewhere there is server running on of the Google Cloud. So when we request to the server, like I want to visit the Google Cloud, like I want, there is one file name like google.html in that server, we need to access that file. It's kind of server, you can think it's server, Google server, and it's our it's client, and we are use like guys, listen one thing, always client go to the server. Okay, server never comes to the client and tell that hey, this is, you can access this service. Okay, always client go to the server to access the service. And here if you know about Google, so in Google they have their own files, and if when client go to the server and client requests that I want to access the google.com, so we need some tool between, in between. So what they can do, they can find the specific file about the Google which stored, like which web page they created. Okay, to find that specific file and fulfill the client request, and the server is providing the service. So here this is known as server. Okay, they are providing some kind of service, so that's why they are known as server. But here they are providing the service about the web pages, so this is known as web server. It's a web server, you can say it's a web server. And it's a web server, and I already told you there are lots of product like Nginx and all the things, but HTTPd is one of the great product we have. Now I think the server concept is clear now, that what is server. So it's just a server is just a program which provides some kind of service to the client. Now let me to jump to the AWS part. So here you can see our EC2 is launched. Let me connect to the my EC2. So here you can see Apache HTTPd, click on connect. You can use IP address, I'm gonna use the SSH client and connect. Guys, I'm using the git bash now. The entire training for accessing the or the shell, I'm using the git bash. So if anybody don't know about the git bash, so git bash is just a tool. Okay, git bash is just a tool which provide us to run Linux command. Some, not all, some of the Linux command we can run in the Windows, like ELS and all the kind of things. Some Linux command we can run in the Windows using the git bash. So here you can see if I open git bash here, so like I can run the ELS command here, ELS and all the kind of things command we can run, mkdir command we can run here, the that we normally use in the Linux operating system. Okay, but now let's connect with the our EC2. So our my key located in the download folder, so let me just go to the cd download folder. Here let me run this command and click on yes. So I'm logging with the EC2 user now. Let me switch to the root user. So guys, I'm not explaining you the basic thing of the Linux. So the prerequisite for this HTTP training is that you should know some basic Linux command, not all like systemctl and on the basic command like ls creating directory and all the things. Okay, and if you want to install the HTTP web server, like if you want to check first is install or not, so in Red Hat, so we have the RPM package manager, Red Hat package manager available. So I can use RPM hyphen q command to query that we have HTTP server available or not. I think I did the typo error. So here you can see RPM command. So you can see HTTP is not installed. So for installing the HTTPd, like there are different commands available. There are different method available in the Ubuntu or any kind of thing. Like in Ubuntu, we don't call HTTPd as HTTPd. Okay, in Ubuntu, there's a name for HTTP package name for the HTTPd is Apache 2 in Ubuntu. So we can use the apt install command to install the Apache HTTPd in Ubuntu server, but I'm using the Red Hat, so the package name in Red Hat is HTTPd, and we use yum command to install the uh, packages in the Red Hat system. So I'm using the yum command, so here I can use yum install HTTPd to install the HTTPd, and it will get installed. And if you know that it's a server, so like you can think like we are installing the VLC media player, but after installing we need to start it. Okay, we have to click and search for the VLC media player and we need to start it. Same like in HTTPD web server, after like we install, we need to start its services. Okay, and for starting the services we use systemctl command to start the services. Okay, so I think my HTTP installed. Let me click on Y. Here they are installing the multiple files and multiple packages, and these are some modules they are installing. Okay, now the HTTP install. Now for starting the services, I can use systemctl start HTTP command. Okay, but before starting, let me show you. If you use systemctl status command, and you can check here that HTTP service is inactive now. Okay, so we need to start it. So for start, let me use systemctl start HTTP. Okay, after the HTTP start, you can see HTTP server is running. Here you can see it's active and it disable now. I'm gonna explain what is mean by disable later. But here you can see the multiple things like about the HTTP. Okay, it started the services. Now after the HTTP start, what we can do, let me use my public IP address. I launch the EC2 on the AWS cloud, so they provided me the public IP address. So let me just copy this public IP, and if I open the public IP here now, so it will gonna take some time. So here you can see the site doesn't support secure, means the site we hosted now like HTTP install, and by default after install they provide some basic site so for testing. Like so here you can see my site is running on the HTTPd now. Like if you know about, we have two protocols available, like one is HTTP and another is HTTPS. So like you can see HTTP is unsecure and it's secure encrypted format way. That's not a thing for today's class. It's not a cryptography, it's not training about the cryptography. I'm gonna explain you about the HTTPD. Okay, so first, so that's why they are asking about that. I need to go with continue. So here you can see it, by default they show you some testing kind of page, like HTTP is installed, so they show you some testing kind of page here. But like I want to access some page here, like here I can do one thing, ls here I'm in the root directory. Okay, and let me create one test, like we am use test.html page. I want to create this page. Vim command is not available now, so let me use dnf install vim command to install vim command here. So click on y and it's gonna install. After installing, let me use vim command again and let me create this is for testing, and let me click on, let me save this. You can see my page is file is created here. Let me use cat command to read this file, cat test dot HTML. So here you can see I can able to see the content, but I want to access this file on the web pages. Like I can do one thing here, like, and I can paste slash test.html, but they're showing not found. Okay, now we install the HTTP web server, but they don't know the files like resources. Okay, we install the server in our operating system. Okay, we install the httpd, but they don't know which files we want to provide to the client. So what they do, they create one separate folder, like directory in our operating system, that any files you want to provide to the client, you need to specify that file, like you need to provide that file in that specific folder. And httpd by default create this route in /var www/html folder. Okay. And if you see in URL, so here you can see it's a URL. So anybody don't know about the URL, in URL mostly it's not hidden here. Let me copy this URL and paste on notepad. And here you can see in URL they are providing us, like, first is a protocol which we are using, then the IP address of the server, and the web page we want to access. Like if you don't put any web page, so here you can see it's like first we provide the protocol, which protocol we are using. We are using HTTP protocol. Then we provide the IP of the server, and then we provide which resource you want to access from the web server. Okay, and this is known as resource locator. So if you know, this is entire thing known as URL, uniform resource locator. So that's why is locating the resources in our operating system in that particular system. That's why it's known as URL, uniform resource locator. Okay. So by default HTTP say that you need to copy all the files in /var www.html folder. So what I can do, let me go to this operating system again, and I can use cd/var www.html. They create by default this folder, and if I press on enter, if I check here, so here we don't have any files available. But if I create file here like vmtest.html, let me create new file here, and hello for testing. Okay, and let me save this file. And if I as soon as I save this file, if I go to the URL again, and let me remove this, I don't want to go to this page, and if I press enter, you can see they are still showing this kind of page, because if you know about some kind of caches on all the kind of things. But if I press again, so let me just copy this again and paste in another browser, so still they are showing this kind of page. But if I put slash here, and I want to access test.html file, so if I press enter, you can see I am able to access the test.html. This is the content which we enter in that file. If you see test.html, this is the same content we are able to access in the on the client, like a web server client. Guys, Chrome is a web server client, and there are lots of client available, like we have Edge browser available, we have Firefox available. And if you go to the command line, so we have curl command available. Like if I use curl command, so it's a command line browser. If I use curl command, if I put the IP address here, and if I press enter, you can see I'm able to access the same page. Okay, but if I put the like test, I want to access test.html, so you can see I'm able to access the test.html page also. Okay, it's Chrome is a graphical browser and curl is a command line browser. Let me clear this and exit from it. Okay, but like by default what they are showing us, this is the main route they are showing us. Okay, this is the thing they are showing us. When you're anybody come to the IP address, they are showing us this thing. But if I put the web page here, that which page I want to access, so I want to access the /test.html page. Okay, but client always not gonna put this web page name here, like like anybody client come to our IP address, so they are not telling they don't know, actually they don't know the web page name, which web page they want to access, like which file name we use in the backend to create the web page. Like we use test.html, or we use any kind of other thing like hello.html. Okay, so what httpd did, they created one special file. Any file you create with the index.html name, they, okay, index.html name, so anybody can come to this IP address. So they are showing you by default index.html file. So I don't have index.html file created in the backend, but if I go to the here, and if I remove this file, let me remove test.html, and let me create vim index.html file, and let me create httpd training Zorix ops, and let me save this file. Okay, and let me reload this page. You can see we are able to access the file directly without putting the resource name there. Okay, why we are able to access this file? Because in httpd configuration file, by default they return in the configuration that anybody, if they don't put any name, like any resource name in the last, so will by default show the index.html file. Okay, but what if index.html file is not created there? If I go here and if I remove this index.html file, so by default they show you this page. Okay, so somewhere like we don't have any files, like any client come to our web page. Okay, and we don't have any file, like we somehow our server is corrupted, some files are deleted, so anybody come to the our IP address or our website, so they are able to see. So it's not look good. It's not good that instead of showing this Red Hat Enterprise page, what we can do, we can create one specific page, like any can come to the this IP addresses. Instead of showing this kind of page, we can show another page. Okay, like our website name and all the kind of things. So here you can see, if you go scroll down and in website admission part, if you see here, they are showing us follow the instruction in the file. If you go, if you copy this path index etc httpd conf.d and welcome.conf file, if you copy this and let me open this file, if I use vim command and let me open this file, and here you can see they return here. These are the things we are gonna see in the upcoming classes, but if you can see here, here they return if there is no index.html file. If you don't found the index.html file, so you have to show this page. Okay, by default, if anybody don't have the index.html file created, so what we can do, we can copy this path and we can go to this path directly. If I press let me use its file, so let me use cd command and go to this path. Here you have one file created index.html. If I open this file, and here they have all the content which they are showing us, it's written in the file. So if anybody have the knowledge about the css and html and javascript, so you can write your own information here. But let me just quickly do one thing. Let me just somewhere change some content, like where we can change. So this is the page. So you can see here, I want to change, like I want to remove this file and I want to enter my channel name. So I can do, like I can remove this file. Okay, just give me a minute. So let me use remove this content from here. Okay, backspace, remove the entire line. Okay, and let me create a subscribe to the Zorix ops. Okay, here you can say I save this file. Now if you don't have the file created, like we don't have the file created now, we don't have the index.html file in the /var httpd folder, yeah, sorry, /var www.html folder, but still if I reload this page, you can see the content is changed now. Here you can see the content is changed now. By default page, the content of the by default page will change. Okay, but I want to explain you some more things here. Whenever you put the IP address, if I copy this URL, okay, so whenever you put this IP address before the resource part, like here you can put like index.html, like it's file name which you want to access in the web server. But before this resource, we have one more field available. It's called port number. Okay, colon port number. The by default HTTPd run on 80 port number. Okay, 80. We can change it, but by default they run on 80 port number. If you know about, when we use IP address, to connect with the computers, like for the servers or whatever you say, but we don't connect using the IP address. We just we always, after connecting this to that server or the computer or the whatever we can say, after connecting we don't use the server. What we use some kind of program, like here we are using the httpd web server, like web server we are using. So there are all the programs available which are running on the network. They are always run on some kind of port number. Like we have SSH1 program available, it's run on 22 port number. Same like httpd is run on the 80 port number. Okay, and by default you put or not put, by default what our browser will do, our browser by default put 80 port number here when you press on enter, but you can change the port number. Okay, so for changing the httpd web server, they have their own configuration file. Okay, and the configuration file are located in /etc/httpd folder. If I open this here, and if I go to the cd/etc and then /httpd, sorry, let me use cd/etc/httpd. Okay, if I press enter here, and here you can see there are lots of folder available, but one of the folder is conf folder. If I go to cd conf, if you see here we have httpd.conf file available. If I open this file httpd.conf, here you can see, if you go down, scroll down, okay, the one of the keyword here is server root, so I'm gonna explain you later, but the keyword here is listen. Okay, so here you can see we have listen keyword available. It's running on the 80 port number now by default, because this keyword is written here listen 80, that's why our service is running on the 80 port number. If you see, we have one more command available, that how much service are running on the which port number. So we have netset command available in the netset command available in the Red Hat, but netset command is not installed now. What I can do, I can use yum what provides net stat. Okay, you can use what's provide option in the yum command to see that which package provided the netset command. So I can find the package name and I can install the netset command. Okay, so you can see net-tools is a one software which provides us a netset command. So I can install DNA. You can use yum install net-tools. Okay, after install, let me use, after installation I can use netstat -t and lp. It's option to see the port number. I think the command netstat. Okay, here you can see the 80 port number is running on the httpd web server. Okay, if I open this file now httpd.conf, and I can add here one service can run on the multiple port number. Okay guys, the service always run on the port number, but one service can run on the multiple port number, like it's running on the 80 now. I can also add 81, I can also add 82. Okay, if you see here now, like I can put here, like if I put here 80, if I press enter, you can see the same website come up, because by default our browser behind the scene putting the 80 port number in like abstracting the layer between us and the server, that they are putting some kind of layer in between, that they put the by default 80 port number. But if you want to provide our own port number, so here you can use colon and put our own port number. I want to see the 81 port number, but it's still loading because we don't have any website on the 81 port number available. So what I can do, I can just go to here, and here I can change listen on 81 port number also. If I save this file, and after save this file, if I go here again, and if you reload, so here you can see still you are not able to access the site, because when you start the services, whenever you start the services, the file load on the RAM, the configuration file load on the RAM. But now what we did, we just change the file which are located in our hard disks. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to load this file again on the RAM. So we need to restart our services. Okay, so I can use systemctl restart httpd. After restart, if I go here again, if I reload, here you can see we are able to access the website now. Here you can see it's running on the 81 port number now. I can put multiple port number, like if I open httpd.conf, I can put multiple port number like listen listen on 82 also. If I save here now, if I restart again, okay, so here you can see the services start fail. Why they fail? We don't have any error in the configuration file, we don't have the syntax error or any kind of error. But if you want to say why it's failed, so I can use systemctl status httpd command. You can see the service is fail. Okay, and the reason is, if you go on the right side, you can see they are not able to bind the address 82. Okay, if I try to restart again, so you can see still they are showing us the error. Okay, 82. This error we are facing now, it's not from the httpd side, like we don't have the httpd side this error, or our operating system side or our side. It's not a configuration error also. In our operating system, in Red Hat or any other operating system, we have one of the most secure security available. It's SELinux security in Linux available. Okay, because of the SELinux security, we are not able to run this service on the 82 port number. Okay, so to run this service on the 82 port number, what you can do, one of the ways, disable it. Okay, but the service is created for secure or operating system. If you disable it, so we'll face lot of issues. So what we can do, we can allow this service on the 82 port number. So what we can do, we need if you check here, we have get enforce command available to check the SELinux is running or not. If you see enforcing, means the SELinux is running. But if I want to disable it, so what you can do, you can use set enforce 0, and if you check again, get enforce, it's permissive now. Okay, but if I access this now, if I try to restart the service again, you can see we are able to restart it. Let me use system status command. You can see the service is running, and status command is very beautiful command, guys. Here you can see lots of things, like here you can also see somewhere. Let me first check this service running on 82 port number. Now if I check here, you can see our service is running on the 82, but in a status command there are lots of things they show us. One of the things they show that this service is running, and here you can see the request, how much client is connected till now so far. So you can see we have 5 requests till now. We requested this site 5 times. If you increase, like if I use curl command and curl and paste this URL here, and let me run this multiple times, and if I use the status command again now, if I run status command again now, you can see the request gonna increase. Like you can see how much client come in the server and all the kind of things. Okay, we are in upcoming classes, we are going to see multiple things, how to increase your performance and how to create own kind of logs and all the things. But this is the one of the things, the how much client is connected. So here you can see 9 requests gonna come up till now. Okay, and let's see more things about the HTTPd of server. But before that, we disable the SELinux. Okay, but disable is not a good choice. I already told you that the service security is provided, so we need to secure our operating system also. So for allowing, we have SE manage command available. Okay, so we can use SE manage command to enable this service now. So what I can do, we have SE manage in port section they are blocking the port number. So in port section we have -l. Let me check which all the ports they are allowing on the HTTPD. So these are the multiple contexts available for the web server, like syslog on all the things, means for the SELinux. But if you want to see specific information about the HTTPD, so what I can do, I can use grep command and retrieve some information about the HTTP. So here you can see, you will see HTTP underscore port underscore T option. So these are the port number which they are allowing to run this service on the this port number only. But if you want to add or edit this port number, so what I can do, I can use SEmanage command. In SEmanage command, the type I want to change, means first I want to modify it, okay, and the type I want to modify, the context I want to modify, this context I want to modify, okay, and I want to add the 80 port number. It means I want to add like I want to add 82 port number, okay, 82 port number. It's TCP, we are using the TCP protocol here. So if I press enter, here they are showing this kind of error. So let me do SEmanage -t, okay, -a TCP, what they're showing, SEmanage -m, let me use -t here, -m here, okay. So let me just use the Chrome to check the syntax. SEmanage, let me use my Chrome browser. You don't need to remember the syntax, guys. You have the Chrome and Google, so you can search SEmanage command to add port. Here you can see you will find some kind of syntax. So the option here is we have the type and -p. I think I'm using -a option, but we need to use -p, okay, and we need to use -a to add. We need to add, so we need to use -a, but we are modifying, so you can use -em also. So instead of -a here, I want to use -p, okay, and we are going to modify it. So it's modify, and the type I want to modify for the HTTP, okay. If I press enter here now, so still they are showing some kind of error. So let me use -a option for add here. Still they are showing error. So protocol and the port number, so like httpd SEmanage port, okay, sorry, we are not adding the port option here, so we need to also specify the port here. So let me clear, and the command is SEmanage port. If I press enter here now, you can see is not defined, okay. They are showing the TCP is not defined, TCP 82 is not defined. So let me do one thing, I want to go for the TCP. I don't want to use the UDP now, because the HTTP protocol work on the TCP, so we need to go for the TCP now. But let me use port -a option, try to use -a, okay. After adding, you can see we are modifying the TCP, but we don't need to modify, we need to add. So I can use -a option to add, or else you can say or else you can search the help of the port mapping, means the SEmanage -port command. So here you have lots of options, but we are not in the SEmanage training, we are learning the HTTPD things, okay. Now if you search the things, now if you search the SEmanage and check the, let me use the SEmanage port, SEmanage port -el option, and if I check for the HTTP now, so here you can see the new port number gonna come up 82, okay. But till now we are disable the SELinux. So what I can do, I can use set enforce command to enable the SELinux again, set enforce 1. If I use get enforce again, so here you can see our SELinux server is started. Now let me do one thing, let me just go to this side and put the 82 here, like we are enable the 82 port number. So here you can see we are able to access the on the 82 port number. So these are the some things I want to share with you, but we are gonna see more things. So let me just go to the more in depth of the SELinux now, but sorry, httpd now. But if you see here in this file, if you open the httpd.conf, so let me delete this listen from here. I don't want to go for, I don't want to add multi-port number now. I also want to go for the 80 by default, and let me restart the httpd service. But guys, always restarting the service is not a good choice. If you restart the service, okay, if you restart the service, so the client connected to our web server, like some of the client are connected to our web server. So if we restart it, so client gonna disconnect if they are or doing some kind of, they are adding some product into their cart. So if we restart the service, so the client gonna disconnect and they will lose their current session data. So instead of restarting, what you can do, you can use reload. Okay, so instead of stopping and start the service again, we can just reload the configuration file which we change. So what we can do, instead of always restarting, we can use reload command, systemctl reload httpd. Okay, so the configuration we change, they just only apply the configuration which we change in the file. So this is the one of the things which we which help you to the multiple part. And if you open the file again, in this file, if you go down here, so here you can see include keyword. Okay, so any file you create in the con.modules.d folder, so they are also including those files. This is the one of the keyword available. And if you go down here, so this is the keyword available. Like if you go down again, and so this thing guys I am talking about. Okay, so this thing here you can see, by default, the I already told you that by default they show you the index.html page. But if you want to change the name of the page, okay, so let me do one thing. I don't want to go like whenever you go to the file, they by default they check the index.html page is available or not. Okay, so if index.html page is available, so they will show you the data of that page, html. Okay, they'll show you the data of that page. But if you don't have the index.html page available, so it's known as no index page available, no index.html page available. But if you want to change the page name, like I don't want to use the index.html page name now, I want to go for zorix.html, like any page created with the zorix.html. So by default show the client to show the client this page. Okay, so they don't need to put the resource name here in last. So let me store this file and let me reload the service again, systemctl reload httpd. And when reload, if I go to again, if I reload, here you can see we stopped on the 82. So let me just remove this, and here you can see they are showing us a default Red Hat page again. Why? Because we don't created the page zorix.html. So let me go to this folder and let me create zorix.html page here again. Hello from Zorix. Okay, if I save and if I go here again, if I reload, so here you can see I am able to access this page directly. Okay, but what if we have multiple page? Okay, so let me go to the configuration file again. But guys, if you want to go to the previous directory, like I am in the /www.html folder now, but if I want to go to the in this folder again, so what I can do, I can use cd hyphen command. So it will redirect to the previous folder whichever you have. If I use els, so let me open the file again, and I want to go for zorix.html page. But what if zorix.html page is not available? So I can add multiple page like test.html. Okay, if zorix.html page is not available, then show test.html. Okay, if I save this file again, let me reload systemctl reload httpd command. And if I go here again, so here you can see still we are able to access the zorix.html page. But let me use cd hyphen and let me remove the zorix.html page, remove hyphen rf zorix.html. If I reload again, so here you can see by default they are showing us the Red Hat page now again. But we told in that file, we said in that file that if zorix.html page is not available, then you can show the test.html. But test.html is not also available. So what I can do, I can create test.html page now here again. So hello from test page. If I save again and if I reload again, so here you can see we are able to access the test page now, whichever page we created. Okay, so this is the things. Let me just go again in the configuration file and let me change in the httpd configuration again. Okay, and let me put by default. I don't want to change here anything now. I'm just telling you the concept which you can use in your production or your use case. Okay, so but guys, changing in this file is not a good thing. Like if you made some kind of mistake, so if you are changing in this file, it's a main configuration for the httpd web server. Okay, so changing in this file is not a good thing. Okay, if you if you want to create your own configuration on all the kind of things, so changing directly in this configuration file is not good thing. If you did some kind of syntax errors, if you did some kind of syntax error or any kind of error in this file, so your entire web server gonna down. Okay, so what we can do, if you go down here in this files, so in last, indirectly in last, somewhere, let me use gg command to zip gg in last. If you go in this, in the last of this file, so they told that in con.d folder, any file you create with the any name, but the extension file or extension of that file will be .conf. Any file you create with the .conf extension, we are including them. So if you want to make any configuration, so you can use this folder to create the configuration. So if I go here, save this file, and if I go to ELS, and if I go to the, let me go back, and here if you see, we have con.d folder available. If I go to con.d folder, if I use ELS here, so you can see we have multiple files available. So here you can create your own files. Like if I create vim test, like create zorix.conf, the file name should be anything but the extension will be always .conf. Okay, and if I create, and I can type here like listen on 81, let me save, control W, Q, and let me reload the service systemctl reload httpd. If you reload, and if I go here again, and if I try to access this site on the 81 port number, here you can see we are able to access the site on the 81 port number. Okay, and somewhere you can create the this kind of files. Okay, but we can also change the document root. That I already told you that the file which are there storing, like they are always read the file from this folder, var www html folder. Okay, so here you can see they are always read this read the files from this folder. This is known as document root. Okay, this is known as document root. Why? Because it's a root for all the other files which are depend on the web server. Like in this folder, you can create multiple folder. Like I can here, like you can see in this folder I can create mkdir. Let me create another folder, hello, and in this folder, hello folder, I can create one more file like hello, and let me, in this folder I can create one more file, hello.html file. Okay, and here I can do from hello.html. If I save this, so here you can see in the URL part you can add, like we have hello folder available. In that hello folder we have html hello.html file available. So you can also able to access the files. So this is the main document root which we have www.html. So this is known as document root, but you can also change the document root. Okay, like I don't want to store all the files in the HTML folder. I want to create my own document root. So I can create mkdir/var www. Okay, I can create test, and let me go to that folder var www and test. Here I can create file like hello.html. Let me create another file like document.html. Okay, here I can say like from/var/www test.html root. It's just a content which I provide in the file. If I save, but if you try to access this file, okay, if you try to access this file, so we are not able to access. So here you can see they are running on the 80 also. So but if you paste, so you can see they are not able to find the files, because we by default HTML we take from the document root /var www html. But if you want to change, so we need to tell in the configuration file that we need to change the document root. So let me open the cd/etc httpd conf.d, and here I can create one file like Zorix configuration file. Here I can put here let document root it's /var www/test. Okay, if I save here now, if I reload this page, systemctl reload httpd, and you can see successfully reloaded. But if I try to access this file now, you can see we are able to access this file from the different document root. Okay, so these are the some basic things I want to tell you about the httpd web server. But in next class or in next session, in next video, I'm gonna tell you multiple things, how can you manage the access of a particular document root, that now anybody can able to access this any document root. But we have some kind of way that we create multiple documents root in the same server. Okay, so like if I quickly explain you, so we create multiple document root in our server. So some document root we create for the production environment, like anybody from the production environment, they are able to access this site only. Okay, but now we are talking about the public perspective, like anybody can access this site, but you have some internal use cases also. Okay, where we just create separate document root for a separate department, so they can able to access this site. Okay, so in upcoming classes we are going to see about the access management, how we can manage the access on all the kind of things. Okay, but I want to tell you more things. Like here you can see by default, when you ever request the site, whenever you request the site from the server, so it's a client here, and whenever you request the site to the server, okay, so servers send you mostly two data. One issue one, they share you with you the data, it's also known as body part. Whatever we are getting, like here we are getting the content of that page, it's not body part. But also they share you header, they are not visible to us, but they are share you the header, like what is the status code. Okay, means you visited the we access the server, but the data you get, like we get this data, but we don't know the data we get is right or not. But why what I can do here, like server provide me to like server want to provide me the different data, but we are able to see the different data, but we don't know this data is right or not. Okay, so if I go to the command line, in command line we have one option -i, capital I, and here I can paste this URL, and here you can see there we are able to see the headers now. Okay, in headers they show you as a status code like 200, means the mostly they have multiple status code available, like 200 means it's okay, means we are able to access. We have 403 available, means the file you are looking for, it's we don't find it. We have 404 available, that's we have multiples status code available. Okay, but if I delete this file now, if I go to the my server again, where is my httpd running? So not this. So if I go to this, where is my httpd running? So let me open this. Here I have running. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me go to /var www html folder. Let me remove all the files, remove star. We don't have any file. Let me go to the cd test again, and here also let me remove all the files. Okay, if you remove all the files and if you access the same website again, okay, if you access here, you can see they are not running on the 82 port number, we disabled it. So let me just remove. If you can see, we are able to access the data. Which data? If I remove here from here also, so they are just showing us this kind of data. And here you can see using the curl command also we are accessing the same data, but we don't know that we are accessing the data we want, or they are showing us a different data. So in header they are showing us a data, we got the successful result, but if you check in -i option of the curl command, Okay, if you check the header, you can see the 403 error. Okay, means we are not able to access the data which server want to share with us. If you go to the td etc folder, also httpd, here we have con.d folder available, con.d, and here we have one file available, welcome.html. Here you can see, if we don't have the index.html for our page available, that I already told you is not as no index.html, so it's a 403 error. Okay, so these things you should know, that you are accessing the data, but you are accessing the real data what server want to share with us. So that's the thing, it's important to know about it. Okay, these are the some basic things I want to share with you, and many more things I already explained you what we are going to see in the upcoming classes. So that's guys for the today's video. So see you in the next video. Soon I will try to create a new video. Okay, see you in the next video, and so on. Like I created the httpd. In the future I'm gonna also create a specific course on the cryptography, on the AWS cloud, on the Python, Java, and whichever tools and technology possible, I will try to create the videos on of it. Okay, so subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon, so you'll get the new notification which I create the videos about it. Okay, so thank you for the viewing guys, so see you in the next video.